What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Somebody showed this to me a couple days ago, and I thought to myself, man, Madden, connected franchise, big year. No excuse to not have something like this in the game. This is a great concept. And really, just before we get into it, it makes you think, what does Madden have in its game that gets transferred over to other sports styles? I don't see a whole lot personally, but in NHL 19, you're going to have a separate scouting budget. You'll be able to hire and fire scouts with regional specialties. Now, I understand regional specialties are not going to impact Madden, but we should be able to look at collegiate, semi-pro, arena, all those organizations. It talks about an instance here where an expert in Russia and Scandinavia would have mediocre awareness of players outside of that area, and they'll return detailed reports and graded attributes for those players, but anyone that you don't assign a scout to that you maybe draft anyway, you would not have any ability to know their abilities, and you actually would not see their ratings until they played a few games in your organization or outside of that, for that matter. How great of an idea is that? To get away from what we've currently known in Madden, where you can either draft a player to know everything about him, or draft a player that you didn't scout at all, knew nothing about, and then almost immediately know everything. But to go back and kind of have that gradual element of, is this the player that I need? And I know to a lot of you, it's going to come down to, well, the ratings don't matter, so why does this matter? There's an element of depth here. There's an element of immersion here. Where if you're not doing the right things in your franchise, you're not scouting the players you draft, you're not putting the time and effort in, you are not going to have as successful of an experience as someone that is. And it also lends that kind of immersion where you're sitting there, we've all been there, you're looking at the 5th round and there's a player that's, 2nd round, 3rd round projection, and you're like, you know what, I don't need this player, but I'm going to take him anyway. I didn't look into this player at all, but the projection is high enough, it warrants me to draft him. What if you didn't know that player's full attribute rating to properly put him in your depth chart until 3rd, 4th week of the season? So now I'm saying to myself, I've got to use this player. He has to go in my slot. He has to go in as my turner. I don't know how fast he is. I don't know what his agility is. I don't know what his catch rating, fumble ratings are. So now I'm forced to utilize this player instead of the experience we have now, which is simply, well, this player is not as good as the players I have. Let me bury him on the depth chart. Let me throw him on the practice squad and call it a day. So I thought this was extremely interesting. And obviously, just by reading it, it's a very short paragraph, right? But you can actually get so much information about how it could impact the game by thinking about what it brings to the table. And like I said, if CFM, if franchise was the key this year, then this should be something that's introduced. And for that matter, other games that are working on franchise, I hope they take this into consideration, because to me, this is a huge piece of simulation gameplay, and I would love to see it implemented into Madden. Love to know your guys' thoughts on it, though. Appreciate you checking this out, and you know that I'll be back in the week with more comments.